Welcome to KDKP Noire. I'm K Noire, and today we're talking everything. I mean, everything. So you need to stay tuned to hear what we're talking about. So, I was watching a lot of K dramas, and I'm trying to catch myself up here. The K drama that I really liked, if you're, and it's still continuing, Azure Spring. It stars Yuri from Red Velvet, and it's really good. The visuals in this movie are really, really great. This K drama was based off of a webtoon, and if you haven't seen it, please tune in. It's actually streaming on Kakao right now. I think they've put out at least 6 episodes. But I mean, just the whole concept of it, of where, she was a national athlete and she got injured, and, she didn't think she can get back out there. She lost her mom, and she's coming back home in this space that she thinks will be the same. And it's really not. She actually ends up interacting with a guy who's an actual diver, like her mom was. Her mom used to dive, and get, oysters and different things like that. And if you know anything about Korean, the K drama atmosphere, they will oftentimes focus and feature the divers. And these divers, I think, I'm not sure where this actual K drama was filmed, but it looked like Jeju Island. But the visuals are just phenomenal. Speaking of the diving aspect of it, when they go up under, and dive into the ocean to get these oysters and different things that they use, it is actually so beautiful. So, if you haven't seen that, check it out, because she ends up starting to develop a relationship with the male diver. And even though there's some controversy there about his background and so forth, there's controversy with hers that some people do. But you'll see how these, actors come together in this K drama, web drama, and you'll see how everything kind of transpires to bring them together. She has a bestie, he has a friend, that all come together. I always say like a trauma bond kind of deal, but not really, but kind of sorta. But it brings them together to start bringing some great points out in this actual K drama. So check out Azure Spring. Now, the other K drama that it's not really a K drama, it's like a K movie I would think about. It's called K-Pops. That's with Anderson Paak. Now, if you don't know who Anderson Paak is, if you've probably seen him with Bruno Mars, you've probably seen him recently with Taeyong, G Dragon, like Long Shot, so many different artists. But Anderson Paak is an actual talent. He was on the red carpet recently at the Met Gala. I mean, like, people spotted him with Mariah Carey in certain aspects, and he was on a single that he did with her. He is such an amazing talent. I mean, like, I'm just blown away by him. He is Black and Korean, so he has a right to be in this lane. Where some people might have questioned, like, why is this Black guy in this lane? No, he's Black and Korean. And the movie that he put out is called K-Pops, and it's based on the actual story, real life of his son, and the love of his life. Even though he's Black and Korean, his son, mother is Korean, and his son looks kind of Black and Korean, but you wouldn't know. Like, it's just a beautiful story of how his son loved K-pop. And Anderson Paak, just getting his music career and everything off, he was getting into the K-pop scene. Now, probably unwillingly, probably not knowingly, that this is going to occur, that it was going to emerge to be such a big thing for him. Now, the movie itself, like I said, it is based loosely on his life, but the structure of it is pretty much around K-pop in general. And he had some great moments in this movie. I found it very inspiring. One of the most inspiring moments I found in the movie was Earth, Wind, and Fire, whom I love because my father actually loved the elements, Earth, Wind, and Fire. At first I was like, oh, that's just such, that group, but these guys play live instruments, do live singing, do live everything, and are legendary. I love that aspect. He had gospel in there with Kirk Franklin. He had Vernon in there from 17. He had different aspects of K-pop in general all throughout this movie, like with the K-pop, reality shows that they have, where, almost similar to, I think they reference Island in the movie as well, but it's so interesting. But just like the selection shows that they have, and things like that, and training to get into being the next K-pop idol. But it was a great great film. It's currently streaming on Netflix right now. It's called K-Pops. So if you haven't seen it, please get to it, watch it, do whatever you can do to support it. I love this. And the soundtrack to that dropped as well too this week. So again, you'll hear G-Dragon, you'll hear Kevin Wu, you'll hear Taeyang, I think it's Vernon, and I think maybe Joshua from 17 that's on there. Specifically Vernon from 17, I believe. Um, but you'll get Taeyang from NCT. So many different people on this actual soundtrack for this movie. It is a banger. So go and check it out. Speaking of K dramas and K-pop that mix, Taecyeon had a movie come out called Soulmate. Now this one was controversial in a lot of aspects. I mean, because it was being marketed like it was a boys' love drama, and it was focusing on boys' love, um, that it was focusing on, and it was just, I thought it was beautifully done. I don't think, I think, when you look at it and how it was marketed, as a boys' love drama, as, one of those dramas that, was focusing on same sex relationships and so forth, it was well done. Um, I personally didn't get just total boys love out of it. I got just love in general because the actual drama itself, he talks about protecting his soul in this drama. He plays a Korean boxer who actually saves a Japanese hockey player, who's in Berlin, Germany. They're both in Berlin, Germany at the time. He actually saves him from a fire in a church. And the backstory comes about where the hockey player actually, ended up having, someone that was in love with him. And he wasn't aware. He didn't know how to accept that, put that together. But Taecyeon didn't know that. You never got that or anything from that. But the backstory, he had a friend there, a female lead actress in there who did a great job in there, and then you have Taecyeon and the Japanese actor who plays that. I mean, that drama in itself was so well done. And actually, I think the Japanese actor may have had some parts in directing in that as well because he directs things itself. I think it's not. Anyway, um, it was just extremely well when they focused on being guardians to the lead actress's um, child after the loss of that child's father, and then it takes this over a span of 10 years, so you see the different aspects of their relationship over 10 years. And again, I think you could classify it as brotherly love, boy love, um, sister love. You could, the whole concept is really love in general. um, from you see the parents, how the boy's parents just really openly and accept him in. You see how the female lead, who is the best friend of the hockey player, the Japanese hockey player, how she openly accepts him in. Um, you just see so many different aspects. But out of Taecyeon, I would say if this was an Oscar nominated film, and it could be on Netflix, I don't know how they do that, but if it was, he's definitely a contender because his role in this film was so multifaceted, and you saw so many different variations of him, from the boxer aspect to the friend aspect to the fatherly aspect. I think it just kind of comes full circle to where he is in his life right now. As you know, he just recently got married, and that marriage was over all types of media. They showed the pictures and everything, not that they got married live or anything, but he had been with this individual for 10 years, and you know he kept that love between them out of the spotlight. And you got to commend him for that because, he looked genuinely happy. She looked genuinely happy. And all the members of 2PM were there. So, I mean, I think it was a happy occasion, but it really came and brought it full circle to me. This movie brought that aspect of his life full circle because you could see that he is now a grown man. When he started with 2PM, he was young. He was in this industry, but this is a full grown man moment, and the acting that he does in this movie is phenomenal. It's so worth watching on so many different levels. Like I said, he would be an Oscar contender as far as I'm concerned because the performance he delivered here is just transformative. And I think that you need to take a look at it and see. Um, it's just a beautifully well done movie. It's called Soulmate, streaming on Netflix. And I must say, I don't get paid to do Netflix, ca- cacao Netflix or anything. I just love it. Um, Now, the last thing that I'm going to talk about, when it comes to movies, I think it's monumental to mention that Michael just debuted in Korea a couple of weeks back. The movie Michael is is an American drama that was here in the States, and it debuted in Korea a few weeks ago. And a lot of the stars came out to support that movie. Michael, this particular movie depicted a certain point in his life. You saw a little bit of his childhood. You saw how he immersed into the single solo star that he is now. You saw the relationship with his father, his mother, um, a little bit of his brothers, but at the end of the day, um, it was a well done movie. It starred his own nephew, Jafar Jackson, in the movie. But in Korea, you had a lot of stars that came out to support, to see, to look at it. When I think of Michael Jackson and Korean music or K-pop, I think that no other, I would say, person really or singer has had such an influence over K-pop more than Michael Jackson has. And you still see this today. You see him, elements of his dance moves, his, clothing, his movements, all aspects of this in K-pop music today. So it is something that still continues to show up in K-pop on all levels. And you can't mention K-pop and Michael Jackson without mentioning, the Korean king of pop himself, Taemin. Taemin looks and mannerisms and his mannerisms are so much like Michael's. It's very, surreal to me. It's very, chilling to me because I looked at him and saw him perform and I was like, wow, if anyone's going to measure up to that, it's him. Then they had, I didn't know this, but Nikki from Hypen was a Michael impersonator when he was young. So he absolutely loves Michael Jackson. And if you look at Hypen's video called Sweet Venom, you'll see the elements of Michael Jackson all through that video. It's nicely done. Nicely done. But just in general, I think you'll see a lot of stars if you take a moment and just dive into some of the music that's been put out. You'll see elements of Michael in all of it. BTS, yes, you'll see. I think J Hope had a video he put out where he was doing all the movements of Michael on it. But you can't not see it, or you can't not connect it in this element um, of music. So, congratulations to everybody who actually, participated in that movie, who participated on a red carpet in Korea, who came out and supported it. I mean, I saw it when it was here in the States. I was just blown away. And that was my element. That was my era. And still is, as a matter of fact, because I still say there'll never be no one like him. I separate the man and the music, and I know that that man has made a lot of music that has influenced a lot of people. So congratulations to all that were KDKP Noire. I thank you for tuning in. I thank you for joining. Until next time.